Ooh. All right, so I'm here with Kim. Kim lives in Canada. I'm in Jersey. At some point, we are going to meet in real life.
Yes, we are.
We are when the restrictions are lifted and we kind of get back to normal. We have a real fit retreat hopefully coming up in the next, well, definitely by 2022. Definitely. So in the meantime, here we are on Zoom together, and I wanted Kim to share a bit of her story with you guys, a bit about herself. We have been working out together for a number of years. I don't even know when it goes back.
2016 is when I joined, but I found you on YouTube first. So
Okay, found me on YouTube. Many people start there and then venture on over. So here we are all these years later, 5 years later. Wow, that's amazing.
six.
6 years. 6 years later, yay, yay to us. Okay,
Yes.
so she also not only has been working out with me through RealFit, but also has done the mentorship program and she dove deeper into mindset work and made the decision for herself to understand food at a deeper level and herself at a deeper level. So without any further ado, Kim, hello.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I didn't start actually being active until I was 39. Kind of kids were little, and I was focusing on kind of my family and whatnot. And what actually started me just being active in general was we went on a family trip, and I had gained weight on the family trip. And so this kind of motivated me is okay, well, now I need to lose this weight. So I need to start being active. And I actually had bought a Bosu in 2015, and then that's how I found you on YouTube, because I'm like, how on earth do I use this thing? So I went on YouTube, and then I started earmarking all your videos, and I realized I think I had like 15 of your videos all earmarked. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to check this Real Fit business out and see what this is all about. So I have been a member since 2016, Real Fit.
But on YouTube earlier than that.
Yes, YouTube earlier than
The
that.
Bosu brought us together? How did I
The
not know this? I didn't realize that. Oh my God. That's
yes,
awesome.
yes. And so my goal that entire time was I needed to lose weight, and I wanted to be thin, or my version of thin. And so I was working out, and I guess I never seemed to be able to achieve that ideal thin person that I thought I wanted to be, that picture in my head. So I really felt like with all the exercise I was doing, I was failing. Like I wasn't succeeding at what I was wanting to achieve. And, stepping on the scale several times a day, before meals, after meals, before going to the bathroom, after going to the bathroom, those kinds of silly, silly things. Right. And that was my gauge for success. Right. And I did land up doing, several years later, doing the mindset program with Dana. And that's when I actually started to realize, wait a second, I was blind to my success. My goal in my head was I wanted to lose weight and I wanted to be thin. And I felt disappointed in myself because I thought I wasn't achieving that. But then when I actually dove deeper into my mindset work, I realized I've been successful and I haven't seen it. I'm stronger. And yeah, maybe the scale wasn't doing what I thought it was supposed to be doing, but it was because I was gaining muscle. I was changing my shape. I was changing my endurance. All these successes that I didn't see because I had in mind this perfect thin person. But all along, I was really changing into this strong person that once I actually was able to open my eyes to that, I was really, really surprised and pleased at my achievements that I just hadn't been able to see along the way.
So before you joined the mentorship program, what was that point in where you decided or realized like there's got to be more to this, or did you hit a point of frustration?
yes, because I was actually getting compliments from other people that I was discounting.
Uh,
Because I guess other people, I was exercising and I was exercising more, and I guess other people were seeing my successes, or, oh wow, look at you. And I was totally discounted. I couldn't see it. I've always, for 30 years since I was a teenager, I felt my body was disproportionate. I thought like my legs were very thick and heavy. I really didn't like the way I looked in the mirror, and I didn't like the way, even more so, I looked at myself in the mirror, like this disappointment. This doesn't look good on me because my legs still look too thick. I didn't like having that kind of self dialogue with myself anymore.
so you had definite awareness of like, okay, like lots of negativity. I'm stuck. I don't want to be living here in this space. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Especially when I'm thinking, hey, why can other people see positives and I can't? That really just that was a big thing for me, just in general. Whereas like other people were, like I said, could see the positives, but I was just always down on myself, down on myself, down on myself. So that negativity, even though I never thought I was a negative person, when I sat down and kind of maybe wrote things out or reflected on it, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of negativity, and
Mm,
it's heavy, and I didn't like that.
yeah. And we're swimming in it. Like it's our normal, it's your reality. So you don't necessarily know, it really has, we have to create an awareness about it to be able to see ourselves from outside. So, so you did decide to do the mentorship with me. Now that was probably a couple years ago at this point, right?
Okay, so
2018?
2018, yes.
2018, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I have said to, the ladies who I've talked to about doing mindset work that, you know, it isn't this thing where you're just waving a magic wand. Now you certainly have breakthroughs and ahas, and you're going to share some of that in a moment. But it is, I will often say it's peeling back layers of an onion, right? So you've been doing the mindset work for a couple years now, a few years, 2018, 2021. Time goes by fast when you're having fun. But what it is interesting though that like through different seasons of our lives, like maybe the awareness won't pop up right away, right? You start doing the work and then it could be like maybe a year later you're in a different scenario and then there's like another breakthrough or another opening, right? Like uncovering over time,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So this
Yeah.
didn't all happen just because like I have a 12 module course. You can get it done in 12 weeks. However, that's really not the organic natural process, right? Isn't it? Would you say it's like more
Well,
uncovering?
because, oh yeah, absolutely, because you're changing the way you're seeing things, and different things pop up in different times of your life.
Yeah.
So it's like you keep reflecting back on how I used to think about things, but now the way I think about things is changing. So, I'm uncovering, like you say, I'm still uncovering things now
Mm.
that I feel that um, I was just taught a different way to think about it when I was doing the mindset work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So, okay, so I want to share major takeaways that you like, turning points, I guess, in doing this kind of work. So, if you could cover maybe like three things for like whoever's watching this video, for this woman to hear about looking forward to a breakthrough, an aha, it's something that's going to change in perspective to really open up your world. So, what are three major things you could share?
Okay. So I would say that major thing was looking in the mirror. I had this, always looked in the mirror and always focused on my lower half. And I didn't like it. And, changing outfits 3, 4 times because I thought my legs didn't look thin enough in this outfit, and self-conscious. And then in with working in the mindset program, I realized what my legs do for me, what my strong legs allow me to do. And that was that was actually a real big turning point for me, because it's like, I'm spending all this time being so negative about my body, and my body's listening, right? My body, which is what I learned, my body is listening to the things I'm telling it. You're wrong, you're too thick, you're disproportionate. That feels horrible. I'm making myself feel horrible. So then when I realized, wait a second, like, I love to work out and I love to lift, and my strong legs allow me to spin and lift and jump and
And do
squat
pistol squats.
and do pistol squats, exactly,
With a weighted vest.
with 16 pounds on my chest. Holy man, I tell you, I feel that for sure.
We did
But
those.
like, yeah, when you think about that, it's like, yeah, wait a second. I'm so busy being down on myself, but at the same time, my body really is incredible. I'm 46. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that I'm doing great. And I don't see myself as plateaued, or I don't see myself as stopping anytime soon. Like, I'm just going to get stronger and stronger. And that's what these thick thighs are allowing me to do. So maybe they're awesome.
Yeah.
Instead of being something negative or terrible, right?
Yeah.
So that was
A gift.
the way I perceived myself in the mirror. Huge. This was a really big thing, which had nothing to do with food or exercise, was I uncovered this doing the program. Brought me to tears was when my son was young, he's my second child, we had a lot of behavior issues with him. And as a mother, I would always reflect on how I felt like I dealt with those behavior issues of his. And I'd feel sad because I felt like I didn't do a good enough job. And I was really, really focusing on, again, what I had done wrong. And then Dana actually said to me, but when you knew better, you did better. And I went, you're right. I did. When I knew better, I did better. And we went on from there, and we got the help we needed, and we helped him. And I just went, I never saw that before. All I saw was what I felt I didn't do right by him. And then
all you could see was how you failed.
How I failed. And then when I was able to reflect on it with a more open mind, not that narrow kind of negativity, I went, but wait a second, I did do better when I knew better. And that pain of the guilt that I felt for myself actually dissipated and disappeared. And it became this light bulb aha moment in my life that I went straight to my husband, and I'm crying, and he's like, what's going on? And I said to him, I've had a breakthrough. I've had this breakthrough. And till to this day, if I reflect on that time, I don't feel negative about it. I don't feel bad about it. I don't beat myself up over it. I'm still in that same mindset of when I knew better, I did better.
Forgiveness. So the part there is also forgiveness. Like, you can't go back and change anything. So how can I feel better about doing the best that you could at the time?
Yeah.
Awesome.
No.
Now, before you go on to the third step, or the third point, did you notice a pattern in having that breakthrough in any behavior at all around food? Like, was there a correlation at all? Or through the process as you had breakthroughs? Or
well, I know that you did, like, it kind of ties into that like that guilt of, if you overeat, or that guilt of eating the raw or choosing the wrong food. And like you said, food is food, and that forgiveness, right? Of who am I helping if I'm still feeling bad about overeating last night?
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly not helping myself.
Yeah.
And so for like just learning self-forgiveness in general, right? And not still thinking about that overeating that I did at my parents or for my birthday or whatever. I would say I've really let that go.
So that's why I wanted to bring that out and just pull it out for a moment, because that's the thing I think most women miss. They think it is all about the food. And do you see how, like, Kim just shared this breakthrough about like forgiving herself in a scenario as her role as a mother, and yet there is a correlation between how I can forgive myself with my patterns of behavior around food in the past. Like, do you see, like, there really are parallels there. There
Yeah.
really are. And it can be easier. So, like, so once you have that kind of breakthrough, it's like not forceful. You're not trying to manipulate food in any way, right? It's sort of like, okay, I could just kind of let that go. It's sort of like you're not trying to let it go. You just sort of like, it just sort of doesn't matter as much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Which again, that was a tough, that, we all kind of indulge.
Yep.
And then you have this kind of hanging cloud of guilt afterwards. And it's like, I don't know, that didn't serve me well, for years. And you got to give yourself a break.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing the best you can,
You
right?
do, I
like
do the
like
best
you
I can.
legit believe it. That's the difference
Yeah.
of just saying I'm doing the best I can. We say it, but we don't internalize it and believe it. This is the difference that I want to just pull out here for a moment and highlight, that like Kim really profoundly got it. Like profoundly to the point of tears. And that will sometimes happen in the mentorship program, is that there will be some tears, but they're cathartic. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, it's like a relief of like, oh my God, I really get it. Like, oh, it's all coming together. And what happens on the other side is like, oh, the freedom and the lightness.
Yeah.
And you get to really appreciate life on a new level.
Yeah. And so in that regard, I
Yeah.
would say my kind of third big takeaway is just gratitude in general. I never thought of myself as a negative person. I really didn't. But then when you reflect on your thoughts, then you're like, wait a second. It's like how something small in your day that doesn't go your way or what have you can kind of ruin your whole day. Well, you don't have to let it ruin your whole day, right? You can feel the feelings at the time, but then if you kind of go back to gratitude, and realizing what is good in your life and what's good about the day, it doesn't land up ruining your entire day. Like that, again, another big thing for me is I didn't realize I wasn't practicing gratitude, which almost, that kind of sounds kind of funny, right? Because you think that is just something that
It's a
that you do
given,
more.
right? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
a
a
given.
basic, like it's a
Oh,
given.
sure. I've
Especially if
got,
you learn in your religion and how you grow up in church, or like your family or whatever. Like it's like gratitude, right? Being
yeah,
grateful.
well, again, like,
Grateful for your
so
food.
I have gratitude because I have a roof over my head. I have a steady job, and I have family and friends around me. But when you go a little bit further to think about um, gratitude about, like, we were talking earlier, was I don't necessarily like to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work. It's not my favorite. But I feel gratitude at the fact that I do like that quiet time in the morning to myself. I do like at certain times of the year, I'm driving to work and the sun is rising. Like, how many times do you get to see the sunrise, right? I'm home earlier, and I love being home earlier. Things like that, where it's like, rather than grumbling about rolling out of bed when I still feel like I want to stay in bed, it's all the great things that waking up early does benefit me. So just feeling gratitude about, the sunny day, feeling gratitude about having my husband and kids, feeling gratitude about being able to sit in my backyard and enjoy some quiet time. Just, yeah, like that I never practiced enough. I
Well,
really did.
the power of gratitude too is that, like, I mean, I don't know, you listen to Kim, don't you feel like a little higher, right? It feels like light and like airy. And the thing here is that when we're really in this living in gratitude, we're able to make better decisions for our well-being and our best life, right? When you're in that frame of mind, you know, if like you start your day and you're thinking like, oh, it's peaceful in the morning. Oh, I get to look at the sunrise, and you know, you're appreciating the little things. What a difference in like the decisions you might even make for breakfast, or you might make to like, are you going to do something that's going to be self-defeating or self-caring?
Right.
Gratitude helps shift that fundamentally.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can absolutely say that, because you feel lighter. And I would say that if you're not in the negative headspace all the time, you're not also trying to make yourself feel better
Right.
by, like you say, eating too much or eating the wrong things or the sweets or the salty, because you're looking for that kind of instant way to make yourself feel better, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the lightness of your thoughts and the lightness of your attitude towards your day. You're not seeking other external ways to make yourself feel better.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. That's fundamental. It really is. And sometimes overlooked or not thinking like that, you know, that could be a possibility. And what if it could be that simple? Like, what if? Now, I say simple, but shifting into that life of gratitude may not be an easy one, right? I mean, it's like,
Right.
yeah, there's a little
Yeah.
process here. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, because your habits, you've
Yeah.
developed those habits for decades, right? So yeah, it's not an overnight thing. But then what is really neat is when you realize you're doing it without even thinking.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
are practicing it and you're not consciously practicing it anymore, you've actually changed your attitude towards it. So
Yeah.
then it's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
look at me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what advice would you give to any woman who's like on the fence about, I want to invest in myself for with this mentorship program? Maybe I want to work with Dana. I'm not sure. Um, Maybe even addressing some fears they may have. And what would you say to them about making that decision?
I would say that my own hesitancy, because I did, ponder when I was first thinking of registering, was kind of I was wondering what I was going to uncover, and perhaps I was even a bit anxious about not wanting to uncover them. I think that even if we might not be happy in the state we're in, it's familiar and it's somewhat comfortable, even if you're not happy about it. And change is hard. That's another thing I'm working on. But change in any degree, whether even if it's a positive change on the other side, change is hard. And so if you're in that kind of hesitancy because you're like, I don't know, I'm not sure of what I'm going to kind of unearth, it some of it is a little, maybe even uncomfortable, right? Writing things about your past, or reflecting on the negative things you're actually doing in your life right now that aren't serving you well. But being on the other side of that, oh, what are it's it really does feel good when you can kind of realize that just because you were doing something for so long doesn't mean that it was the right thing for you to do, right? That
And I'm
kind
with you every step of the way, you know, like, come on, how accessible am I?
of yes, absolutely. Like I said, um you kind of do hit those little stumbling blocks, and it was your words, when you knew better you did better, boom, those words, that phrase changed my way of thinking.
And the
So
thing is, it could be that you heard something like that before, but and to Kim's point, how it's like it could be kind of scary. I don't know, because I might uncover something I'm not ready to. You're only going to uncover when you're ready. You may have been struggling with that concept for a long time, right? Feeling this way about your son for a very long
yeah,
time. It's not until it's like you chip away, chip away, chip away, and then you're like open and receptive to like, please help me understand something. And I remember that conversation because it was like borderline tears, right? And already it's like, you know, something very, feeling very raw, but you are ready. And when you're ready, it's like, it'll just come in and break everything open and not be as scary as you think it is.
Exactly, because that it's that anticipation of it is
Yeah. Yeah.
is you know worse, but it's just, and also just being on the other side of it, even if it is painful at the time, being on the other side of it is oh, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's weight off your shoulders. It feels really good. It feels really good.
Thank you for sharing all of this, Kim. This is amazing. I know that there is some woman watching this that needed to hear your words of encouragement and
Oh, I hope so.
yeah,
I
yeah,
hope so.
yeah. So, and to that point, you know, Kim's on Facebook. She's in our Facebook group. So if anyone has questions and they want to reach out to you directly, I'm putting
Oh,
you
for
on the
sure.
spot here. Okay, I'm like totally putting her on the spot. But I had a feeling just because this is how we roll. When you feel this like compelling sense to pay it forward, when you feel this good, it's like if I could possibly help shift another woman and reconnect with her spirit and her soul and help her feel really good about herself, help her see that she's worth it. It's like, I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to talk to the world. I want to yell at the top of the mountain.
Yes, no, I would feel honored if someone wanted to ask me, ask my opinion, and if I could help someone, I would feel really honored actually. So
Fabulous. Excellent. So she's right here in this group, and you can either friend her on Facebook or send her a direct message, and she'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Of course, you can always ask me, but sometimes it is nice to ask another client who's done the work and who's, you know, been there. So I totally respect that. So thank you, Kim. This is
yay.
amazing. All right, awesome. So I hope to see you in the mentorship.